Today's mini-guide will walk you through how to complete Star Wars on the NES. We'll be finding all the extra lives, collecting all the Millennium Falcon shields, and finding all the characters. These mini-guides aren't complete playthroughs with commentary. I skip around to the areas that are likely to give you the most guff, or I'll highlight areas of interest that might go unnoticed. Just so happens, this game is pretty tough, so this mini-guide might be more involved than I'd like, and as always, these aren't speedrun hacks, and I don't pretend to believe my way is the best way. This is just a way to beat it that might appeal to casual NES players who were beaten up pretty bad by this one in childhood. Ultimately, I think once you get a good feel for it, this game ends up being one of the more underappreciated games on the system. Now, I trust you've already read the manual, you know the inputs, so let's get started. You start out on Tatooine with very little direction. This is where a lot of folks get hung up, since there seems to be very little exposition or direction to tell you what you should be doing. There are a few things you need to do here. Most importantly, we need to find R2-D2. And then we need to locate Obi-Wan and get our lightsaber. We need to find the 7 unique shields for the Millennium Falcon, but you can hold up to 8, so you can double dip into a cave to get the extra one. You will need to scour 6 caves and a sandcrawler here on Tatooine in order to find all of these things. Now first, you're just automatically plopped into a cave. So this one's pretty simple. You just hop to the right, be careful of the dripping green blobs from the ceiling, pick up your blaster, and exit. Easy peasy. Now we're back on the surface and in the land speeder. Now this is a good opportunity to show you the map of this entire area and tell you where we're going and in what order. So we started here. The numbers indicate the order we'll hit each of the stops. Why this order? I don't know. It's just the one I like. But this is an open world. You can do these in any order you want. There's no reason you need to go in a specific order. So, guide the land speeder northwest to the sandcrawler. The land speeder has no offense, so you need to dodge all the banthas and other enemies lurking around here in the desert. The sandcrawler is where R2-D2 is held up. The area is pretty tough and breaks you into the game's general difficulty. The best advice I have is to go slow and avoid big falls. You will take fall damage in this game. R2-D2 is going to be located in the far upper right of this area. To start, move right, go slow, and look out for your first enemy. A few shots by rapidly tapping fire should do it. And look out for this thing that will squash you and do a ton of damage. Once it goes back up, you can just walk under it. This thing on the other side is not a wall. You can walk right through it. Then climb the ladder, wait for the 3 bullets to pass overhead, hop over and duck down, facing left, and fire on this guy. And as long as you're ducking, you can't be hit. You can go all the way to the left for some health if you've lost some, or you can jump up into this pipe. Now be careful for this guy. You could go a little too airborne and get stuck falling by hitting his bullets, then he just kind of taps you into the air like a balloon until you're dead. Sometimes it's easier to land on the left and then move right to deal with him. A couple of long jumps later and you'll see a conveyor belt. Run on it toward the wall, notice the arrows pointing up, collide with the wall and streak upward, and then hold left to come back onto the ledge. Land facing left, and then duck and wipe out this guy. Now some more jumps. So go up into this vacuum tube, but hold left as you do, so you can get to this next ledge. Now if you're low on health, you can go right up here. There are a couple of health pickups. In fact, further over to the right, there is an extra life pickup that might be worth going for. There is an enemy you can't kill lurking around down there, and the conveyor belts make traversing tricky, and you're likely to take some fall damage, so it's up to you, but I show it here so that you know what you're getting into. So maybe you didn't need the health or the extra life. So we're back at the tube. Shoot up the tube, go left, and wait for this crusher thing to go down and back up. On the next floor, wait at the top of the tube for the crusher to go down, and as soon as it's going back up, this is your cue to hit that conveyor platform running and zip all the way to the other side. Once you go down the ladder and up the next tube, it's kind of the same thing again. You can hop off to the left, repeat, wait for the crusher to go back up, boom, zip down the conveyor. There are no enemies here for a second, so head along the top, jump the gap, run on the conveyor belt to zip yourself up. And this next part is a little tricky if you fall down because there's a pesky enemy and a conveyor belt waiting for you at the bottom. So try to make the jump across to get R2-D2, and then this stage is done. But once you're done, it zips you back outside. Now if you took damage in here and you're a little low on health, you can always pop back in and go to collect the health pickup that's nearest to the door. It takes a little bit to get to it, but beats being dead. so you can always do that. Health respawns, as do all the enemies once you leave the area. Alright, now we have R2-D2, it's time to head directly south to our next stop at the Purple Cave, where you'll pick up 2 Millennium Falcon shields and another extra life. In here, you'll encounter rolling rocks, which I try to avoid by doing like a momentum jump, loopy jump thing. So holding down run, jump away and back toward them to hop over them. There might be an easier way to do this, but hey, if it ain't broke, I don't fix it. Eventually, you'll come to a big spiky gap. Run and jump across this big gap, but be shooting while you do it to take out this flying bug. It's a confident move, but it's the quickest way to deal with that guy. Drop down to get the health pickup, but immediately duck facing left to take out the other flying bug. Now you're going to want to hop down over the spikes and stand here shooting right to take out this enemy walking toward you. They will start shooting at you if you don't take them out quick. You can drop down to their level and do the same thing, because if you're on the same plane as them and ducking, you're less likely to be hit by their shots. Now, let's go get that extra life. Hop on these platforms going left, and when you get here, you'll see some discoloration in the rocks. There's a hidden platform there. Jump over there. Head left and wait for this guy to walk away from you, and then quickly hop up there and unleash on him till he goes down. Get your extra loot. Head back out across these platforms. Now you can go ahead and take out this guy blocking the exit, but we're not going to be using the exit just yet. The enemies in this game, thankfully, do not respawn, so it's okay to take him out now to save yourself the hassle later. Plus, he'll make dealing with our next enemy a little easier once he's out of the way. Now, go back left, hop down if you have to in order to trigger this sand dude, then run back and separate yourself from him. He can't reach you, so you can fire on him until he's out of the way. Use the cover of these rocks for the next 2 enemies. That's why they're here, to separate you from them. And then once you walk to the edge, this guy across the spikes, he's a little bit tricky. It helps to be quick and hop across and fire on him, but if you hesitate, he'll shoot at you. So once he's down, grab the 2 Millennium Falcon shields and head back toward the exit. Now back at the surface, head for the top center to the first of a pair of green caves. This one has 1 Falcon shield in the bottom right. The enemies in here are these things that explode out of these little rock-like cocoons, and then they run at you. So take your time, keep your distance, and fire on them. If they get close enough to run under your feet, you could be toast, so take your time through here. The trickier part of the level is jumping over the spikes here at the bottom. There's a mix of long and short jumps. The first jump is probably the trickiest. It's at the edge of being a short jump, and maybe too short for a full long jump, so some finesse is required. The second jump is a long jump, and then the others you can get through with just regular jumps. And then collect the Falcon Shield, exit. Our next stop takes us all the way to the eastern side of the map, so head down around the edge of the jutting rock, and then all the way right. This green cave basically descends downward a couple of floors. There's a Falcon Shield fairly early on, and then 2 big health refills on the way out. The only enemy are these fat worms. They're pretty easy to take out, but hey, it's recommended to take your time. Don't underestimate these guys. Alright, once back outside, our next stop will be the red cave that is closer to the center of the map, so head west and south. There's 1 Falcon Shield in here in the lower right of the map. This area is crawling with sand people, and you do not want to be on the same plane as they are without having something to separate you. These guys do not change elevation, so if you separate yourself from them using a ledge or a gap, you're good. So for these first 2, inch along, get their attention, then run back, hop the gap, turn right, and take them out. For the next one, he won't come down to you, so just trigger him, run back, hop down, and then shoot him until he's gone. Make your way down the steps here. You can see there's a sand dude beneath you, down here to the right, and you don't want to trigger him just yet. Get to the last step and drop down, and then take out the one on the ledge above you by jumping and shooting. Once he's gone, then you move right, trigger that one, and then run back and jump up, crouch down, and shoot this one in the face a few times. You'll need to repeat that for the next guy a little further down, then grab your Falcon Shield. Now make your way left. There's another one in here waiting on you, so trigger him and then run back and hop down and shoot him. And then near the end of the cave, there's one guarding the exit. So just jump up and shoot at him. It might take a second, but it's the safest option. Now once back outside, we're almost done with Tatooine. I've got you running all over the place, but the next stop is in the northeast and is where we'll pick up Obi-Wan, our lightsaber, and 2 extra lives. The only enemies here are the pesky flying ones. So at the start, I find it best to just confidently run and jump while shooting to take out the first one. That's a good thing to do in this stage, is to run, jump, and shoot just shoot a lot. Eventually, you'll find yourself on this little platform, and if we look over to that wall, you can see that discoloration once again. That's a platform you can jump on, so jump across. If you miss this jump, there's no getting back up here. So jump across, and once here, you'll see that there's a gap in the floor. Do not fall down it, or you'll land in spikes. But you do need to jump across it 4 times. Once to trigger the enemy, and then back to get away from him while you shoot him, and then back across to go over and collect your extra lives, and then back across it 1 more time to get out of here. On the way out, don't try to jump to the platform, just drop straight down. You'll avoid fall damage. Hop across these few platforms here, maybe 2, and then drop because there's nothing else to your right. We're heading left, baby. You should see a health pickup. Grab it if you need it. The exit to this cave is in the lower right, but we won't be going there. Instead, you have to make your way to the left using big jumps and dodging the flying enemies. This is pretty tough. There's no single strategy here that I can suggest other than shoot them as they come up if the angle is right. But if they're coming right at you, you can try to jump over them and wait for them to swirl back around into your blaster sights. Once on the other side, you meet Obi-Wan, and there's a little cutscene where you get the lightsaber and you see Leia's message. Okay, we're officially done with Tatooine. You should have at least 5 shields by now, but you could have picked up 8 if you went back through and collected some over again. But now we need to travel directly south as the crow flies toward Mos Eisley. Once there, press select and grab Luke's lightsaber. It will take out most enemies in 1 hit. Then pop into the cantina. Here you'll see green enemies and purple enemies. Now the green ones are pretty easy to take out, you just hit them with the lightsaber. But the purple guys with the laser blasters are invincible. Avoid them at all costs. Don't jump into them, don't get hit by their shots. Just avoid them. So continue all the way to the right until you run into Han. Now Han Solo is in your party, and you can fight with him. But a few things to know. You can play as Han or Leia in this game. Kind of like the Ninja Turtles game, you can switch between the characters. If either Han or Leia die, they leave the party. You can use Obi-Wan and his powers to get them back, but it's a limited use power, so you need to be careful with them. I tend to use Luke almost entirely, so it's not really a worry. Finishing the game with all 3 characters alive does earn you the 100%, but additionally, only Luke can pick up extra lives. Not to mention the lightsaber is the best weapon, so you'll want that for most of the game. So switch back to Luke, head all the way back out, and once outside the cantina, move right. But be careful, jump over this first stormtrooper's gunfire and slash at him. Now this level has Jawas, stormtroopers, and bounty hunters. The bounty hunters patrolling the area are a little trickier because they shoot out a swirling fireball that can find its way to you, or you can just accidentally jump into it. But you can actually swat those away with the lightsaber. This one that you have to follow under the crates is trickier. Now if you time it right, at about 3 crates in, just swing and you'll take out at least one of his fireballs. But if he gets you at the second, hey, no worries, there's a health pickup right behind him. Now here, wait for the gunfire, jump over it, take him out, and then be sure to take out the guy above him. You'll be coming back this way here in a second, and you won't want to deal with this guy later. Once on the far right, jump up. This is a little bit tricky. Timing is important. You could switch to your blaster or switch to Han and shoot the guy, or you can time your jumps over the gunfire and slash him. Right now, you're at Hangar 99, but you need to get to Hangar 94, which you've already passed. So you need to do a big run and jump to get over there. Now, if you miss, you'll take some fall damage, so you'll need to focus on jumping at the last second to get over there. Here inside the hangar, you can find 2 more Millennium Falcon shields. They're easy to find, but hard to grab. First though, make your way right. The 1st and 3rd Stormtrooper will be crouching and shooting, so you'll need to look out for those. But the 2nd, 4th, and 5th, they're just dumbly walking, so you can swipe them with the lightsaber while on the move. Head up the ladder. Now take caution here, there's flames coming out of the wall. Wait until it shoots, then climb up, move right, and duck the next fire. Now to the immediate right, there's a Stormtrooper crouched down and waiting on you. Move right, and when you see this black part of the Millennium Falcon parked below you come into view, do a quick hop and slash to clear the gunfire and take him out. Move right, grab the life, and then go up the tube. Sometimes there are stormtroopers waiting for you and they'll shoot you. You might take damage, but there is some health ahead, so go up the 2nd tube and then go to the left, but be careful. Now there's a Falcon shield over here on the other side of these pesky laser turrets. It's tricky to get up there as touching the turrets causes you to recoil, but again, as long as you don't linger, you should be fine. We're going to pick up some more health over here to the right. Alright, once you get that health, drop down and make your way to the next Millennium Falcon shield. This one's a little easier, and you can use the recoil to your advantage. Time it right, jump, and then just ricochet off that far turret and back. You lost a little health, but hey, that's okay. Now on your way down, sometimes it's easy to accidentally fall where the ladders are because you didn't cling to them first. It's good practice to go up the ladder a smidge just to ensure that you're on it and you don't plummet by accident. This next section is all about timing the turrets. The last pair are the trickiest. Jump through once the vertical one shoots, and then jump again to clear the bottom one from scalding your behind. Look out for the other enemies waiting on you before you reach the Millennium Falcon. Now get ready for this next section. It's a giant pain in the Chewbacca hole. So in this section, all the lives you picked up no longer matter. But here you're relying on all those shields you've been picking up to get you through. Hopefully you have 8. You'll know by the number of green bars at the top. If your shields deplete, you don't use a life. You skip straight to using a continue. It's brutal. You're bound to take some damage in this section, so hopefully you've grabbed all those shields. Each shield is worth 2 hits. You get 1 more hit once all the shields are depleted, so with all 8 shields you can take 17 hits. That seems like a lot, but this section of the game is really tough, and things can compound quickly. There is no surefire trick here, like in Top Gun where you can hold down and right and skip all the danger. The only advice I can give here is to try to aim yourself toward nothingness as best you can and always be moving. This section only lasts about a minute, which can honestly feel like a long time as your health gets low. But once you survive the asteroids, you've officially made it to the Death Star. One more thing of note is that no matter how many of those extra lives you picked up prior to here, if you did die in the asteroids and had to use a continue, then all those extra lives are gone, and you're reset to having just 2. Bummer. Now you're inside the Death Star hangar. Immediately, you'll run into 4 stormtroopers. The first one is shooting at you, so jump his fire and slash him. The next 2 you can just walk and slash easily, and then the 4th one, wait for him to turn around and shoot at you before you go after him. At the end of this hallway is a gunner, and there's also one above you. So get a run and go and jump clear over the gunfire of the first one and hit that vacuum tube. You'll shoot up. Now you may get hit by gunfire from the second one. If you're lucky, you might miss it. But jump through the next tube between the gunner shots. And if you've taken some damage, there's a little bit of life there on the right that you can drop back down for. Patiently find an opportunity to kill the next guy after he's turned around, and then jump into the tube and immediately hold left to hit the platform, because straight above that tube is a dead end. The next section is a super confusing maze of elevators, but hey, don't worry, I got you. Go right and enter the first open door. All the way to the right and you'll trigger a cutscene. Leia is to be terminated, and then R2-D2 downloads a map of this place. If you select R2-D2 in the menu, you can see the map. The red doors are the ones of importance. 2 of them you've already gone through. The one you started the level from and the one you just entered to get this map. And then the other, in the top right, is the exit. Kill whatever this thing is, and then long jump this gap. If you fall to your death. So long jump, and then go down the first elevator. If you want an extra life, use this elevator and get ready to outmaneuver a giant robot. Just avoid it altogether. If it jumps on you, you're immediately dead. So get a big run and jump to clear it, grab that life, and then run and jump back over it and out the door. Now go up the elevator to the left, keep going up, jump this gap. Then here, there's a gunner that will probably do damage to you. It's almost unavoidable. Best thing to do is just eat it and try to jump over him, but don't jump too far, because if you fall down, you'll have to loop back around and take damage from him all over again. But there is more health just behind him. Now, once you get up here, you have to put your long jump platformer skills to the test. I recommend switching to the blaster here or switching to Han. Do the first long jump and then fire on this enemy to get rid of them. Now you can take your time and get a good run and leap across these platforms. Then go up the elevators until you reach yet another large gap with health on the other side. Here the blaster won't help. Since the enemy is out of range, it's best to just do 2 quick run and jumps across. But it is finicky. If you miss the jump or go too far, you'll land below, where there is health, but you'll basically have to redo almost the entire level again to get back here. So falling is just no good. But once you're up here, go down the elevator and patiently dodge that last enemy and exit. Now it's time to fight a tractor beam. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. In here, you'll see there are 4 ladders on the wall. Lasers horizontally firing across your neighboring platforms, and then 2 other lasers alternating back and forth and shooting down the ladders. I like to switch to Han here and use his blaster. The way I do it is time a jump after the horizontal laser shoots and jump to a ladder where one of the vertical lasers is currently not shooting down. The idea here is to go back and forth to the ladders and shoot toward the crystal in the center when you move from the outer ladder to an inner one. I like the right side because both ladders are long in case I slip to the bottom. After about 6 shots on the flashing thing in the center, it's done. A quicker way to do it, but a way that requires more precise execution, is to use Luke on this left ladder and climb up to where his head is just above this outward point of the crystal, hold right and slash with the lightsaber. This will take out the center in one shot if you're able to get it. However, if you land on the platform below, the tractor beam thingy will fall on your face and potentially kill you. You also cannot miss the platform and fall between them, or you'll die. So you'll have to land on the platform and then quickly jump safely out of the way to not get bashed in the face. Now it's time to go rescue Leia from the trash compactor, but getting there will be no simple feat. This next section is yet again another elevator maze, and it's much more confusing than the last one. Here's a quick rundown from the map view of what I'm about to show you in case you just want some fast directions. We'll be going down this first elevator, then this next one to our right, long jump left, take this elevator up, go right, jump the gap, take this second elevator down, pick up health, wave at Leia through the window. Then we have to go back up that same elevator. At the top, go down the first elevator on the left, walk all the way left, take the last elevator down, take the right elevator of these three up, take the next elevator to the right down, go right, cross the gap, take elevator down, then walk out to the right. So for how that looks in practice, again, down, down, long jump left, elevator up, go right, jump gap, elevator down, pick up health, and wave at Leia. Doing this isn't necessary for completing the game or anything, but I'm showing you the whole game here, man. Just wave at her. Then go back up. Left elevator, last elevator on the left, right elevator up, right elevator down, jump the gap, but know that this enemy on the far side is invincible, so you need to jump over it, then elevator down, and there's another one of those missile enemies waiting for you at the bottom. The shot is hard to dodge, but hopefully you've got plenty of life as you exit for the next stage, the Detention Center. This is my least favorite stage, I think, but don't worry, we'll get through it. Start by running right and doing a real big jump over this mech. Jump up to the next level, he can't hurt you here. Then jump on the conveyor belt, go against the grain a bit, and then let it sling you out and use the momentum and jump to the next level. These next couple of enemies are invincible, so you just have to wait until their backs are turned and sneak by them. Go up the tube on the far right. Now, up here you can climb those steps for some health if you took a few shots there. Otherwise, you gotta deal with this conveyor belt nightmare. It looks like you could reach that ladder up there if you tried hard enough in that vacuum tube, but you can't. Forget about it. From here you need to go left and immediately jump using the momentum. And once you hit this one, slide down the wall and let it fling you out and jump again. Now here, as you could see from below, there are spikes waiting on you. So be ready to jump and land on the platform. If you land on any part of the spike, even on the top of it, you'll take some big time damage. Once safely here, jump over to the ladder. And be sure to press up so that you latch on, or else you'll fall back down, take heavy fall damage, and then have to repeat the conveyor sequence again. Here are those conveyor belt jumps once again in slow motion. Okay, now once up here, it's more belt fun times. Ride this long belt, jumping last second and floating over to this platform. Don't miss it, you'll go face first into spikes. The robot enemies on the other side of the jump are invincible, so just time their patterns and jump where they aren't. Next, you have to platform and risk being murdered by these squashy things. Do a couple light jumps past the first one, but then, when you're here on the third platform, hold down the run button and jump, and use your momentum to send you safely out to the next platform. It's a tough thing to do, I know, but here it is again in slow motion. Now, once over here, you have to mind 2 more of those roving robots, so again, jump where they aren't and get past them. This next section is also pretty annoying. You'll go up a tube, and then there's a conveyor belt ready to sling you back toward the spikes you just jumped across. There is a tiny vacuum tube that you need to jump into. So, when you go up the tube, try to land on the left side of the conveyor belt, and then do a little hop to hit the other tube and go up. This next guy is a pain in the neck. If you were lucky in the tube, you could shoot yourself up and over him, but if not, you'll probably take damage from him. He moves pretty fast and you can't clear him with a long jump, so time it the best you can and hop over him and then out the door. Now for the stinky part of the game, the trash compactor. It's pretty simple, honestly. You can wait for him at the bottom and do a couple of slashes, or to be safe, you can jump back and forth to a higher platform and give the eyeball a big old slash. And then boom, he's done. It's pretty easy. Now to escape the Death Star. Warning, this stage is super tough. There are big, goofy jumps, mean enemies, tubes that lead you directly into spikes, and tons of fall damage. There are some hidden health pickups in here, and I'll show you those, but they aren't the easiest things to get to. First thing though, run right and leap over this guy and then take out this dude below the tube. Now this next part is kind of tricky. When you jump into the tube, keep holding the run button and try to land on the other side of the platform in the middle, all the way over here to this platform at the bottom. All right, take that vacuum tube up, and you might take some damage from the gunner, but just take that next tube up quickly. We have health coming. Now do a nice, confident jump across into this gap and kill the stormtrooper. If you want to use a blaster there or use Han there to shoot the guy, go for it. Now you want to drop out and hit that tube somewhere near the bottom and let it zip you up. And try to fit yourself in this gap in the spikes. This is the secret area that leads you to some more health. Go down the ladder and then up the tube. There are 3 spheres here. If Leia or Han have taken damage, they can fill up here as well. Switch to them and pick up a sphere. There is one more sphere in here, but it's near a gunner and it's not worth it. So just head back out, go up the ladder, clear the spikes, and jump into the tube again. But be sure to hold left. If you go all the way up, you'll smash your head off some spikes, rendering all that sweet health you just picked up pointless. There will be a stormtrooper waiting on you when you land, so dodge his fire and then take him out. Time your jump over the gunner, hop into the tube. Now be careful here. If you launch out too far, once again, you'll smash your face off more spikes. So just land on top of the tube if you can, and then let it launch you softly over to the next platform. Hop over onto the ladder and go down. Now here, I take a run and go off of these crates, clearing the gunner and hopping into the tube. After clearing the first spikes, hold right, enter the next tube just enough to get some lift. Keep holding right so that you dodge all the spikes on the ceiling. It's kind of tricky. Here it is again. Up here, float up to the platform, wait for the gunfire to cease, hop down and slash both stormtroopers. Now for this next guy, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can lure him out and jump over him, or you can just do one confident long jump between him and the spikes and then enter the tube. You need to be holding right when you enter the tube so that when you exit it, you'll dodge the spikes on the ceiling. But really, no matter where you land, you're going to deal with the gunner unless you somehow made it over top of him. There's an extra life there, you can grab it if you're brave, and just behind the gunner is the end of the level. The next 2 stages are maybe the hardest. You're tasked with shooting TIE fighters from the rear of the ship. However, your controls are inverted from before, so keep that in mind. You need to prioritize the green missiles being launched at your ship and take out any TIE fighters when you can. This stage does operate in mostly a pattern. However, if you fail to take out some of the TIE fighters, they will linger on screen and continue firing at you. So take them out whenever you can. Your shields are automatically full for this level. However, each shot you take knocks off a whole shield, so you don't have many to burn. And once that's over, there's still more. The next level has you aiming the ship and shooting the fighters at the same time. Here, obviously prioritize the green missiles again to avoid taking damage, but the stage won't end until you take out a certain number of TIE fighters. One thing that works for me here is to aim the ship up and to the right. You'll notice the TIE fighters will appear in a pattern, and most of the time they'll fly into your shot. The occasional green missile will poke through, which will require you to adjust your aim to hit it, but I like this method because it lets me take out the TIE fighters a little easier without having to chase them around the screen. There's not a lot of other advice I can give. The level takes quite a long time to get through. You just have to stay on your game and be shooting at all the green missiles so you can avoid taking damage. Okay, now for the last level. Here you see your ship from a top-down view. You can use your regular shots with B and a proton torpedo with A. You have to use the torpedo to take out the Death Star's weakness. As you move through here, the walls zig and zag, you move at a high rate of speed, there are obstacles in your path, and there are TIE fighters all up in your business. Here is the route I take, indicated on the map here first before I show it to you in real time. You'll know when the end target is coming up because everything starts to narrow. So to start, swing out to lead this TIE fighter that's following you into this, what is that, a monument or something? And then hang to the left. Fire with B the entire time to take out any of the TIE fighters approaching you from the front. I then lean left through here, and then take a big right to lead any TIE fighters following me to their doom. And then left down this hallway, but staying to the right to avoid these monuments. And then take a right down this hallway, go out far enough to miss the brick wall, and veer left, then hard right through this narrow passage. Now this next area leads you up to the target, and you have to dodge all of these. Are they monuments? I don't even know what they are. But once you enter that tunnel, tap A, and very importantly, line yourself up so that you hit the gap on the other side perfectly, or else you'll die and your shot doesn't count. And it's worth noting the gap is not in the middle. You need to be to the left a little bit to squeak through it. But once you hit it, boom, you win. Luke, Leia, and Han celebrate, and you've beaten the game on 100%. Hey, good work out there, you.